Football is an evil and cruel game sometimes. In one moment, you are Julius Caesar, who lifts the whole of Rome to its feet and makes the whole country applaud him, and in the next, you take on the role of Pompey, who retreats defeated. Yes, perhaps it would be difficult to use another analogy, if not that of the Roman Empire, to describe the situation in which José Mourinho finds himself right now. The special one was shockingly sacked by Roma bosses, with the decision coming out of nowhere to the whole football community. Many started asking the questions, how are they going to fire him? He won Roma's first trophy in 14 years. Who will take over the team now? And where will José Mourinho go after Roma? Well, you're lucky enough, because this clip was made especially for you. We'll try to answer and analyze these and many more questions in today's episode, so be sure to stay until the end. First, did you actually understand in what manner Mourinho was sacked? Well, to name it in the most respectful way possible, this was unacceptable behavior from Roma's bosses towards one of the biggest legends of the game. Briefly, José Mourinho has been sacked during a surprising impromptu meeting that lasted just 25 minutes. According to the reliable English source, The Athletic, the legendary Portuguese coach met with Roma's owners, who communicated to José that he would be leaving with immediate effect, without mentioning who would replace him. This is the respect you give to the man, who gave so much in such a short period of time. Now let's run the years back to 2021, heading to the day when Mourinho was appointed as the new Roma manager. At first, quite logically, the team's fans were ecstatic at the news of Mourinho's appointment after disappointing successive past periods. For years, Roma had failed to win a trophy, and the team's participation in European club tournaments was mostly only in the group stage, except in 2017-18, when they reached the Champions League semifinals. And to be precise, the news was quite surprising, because Roma was not the kind of European giant that Mourinho was seeking to work with in the past. He had great periods at Chelsea, Real Madrid, Manchester United, and even some very positive moments at Tottenham, even though he didn't win a trophy with the Spurs. But still, he arrived at the Stadio Olimpico as a proven champion and coach with vast experience and detail in the game. And it all started great for Roma and Mourinho. In Serie A, the team was not impressive, but won games against weaker teams in the typical Mourinho way. Few goals in attack and solid in defense. Against top rivals, Roma mainly accumulated losses, recording draws in several rounds. However, seemingly the most memorable win in Serie A in 2021-22 was against Lazio in the Derby della Capitale, beating their rival 3-0. Yes, the performances were not perfect, but let's not forget, Rome wasn't built in a day. The real battles for the team were fought in the special one's reserved territory, Europe. Before taking over Roma, Mourinho had won 4 European trophies out of 4 finals, 2 Champions Leagues, and 2 Europa Leagues. That is what is called an insane efficiency. Roma won its group in the Conference League without any severe difficulties, qualifying for the knockout stage. There, the Giallorossi had the Dutch Vites, the Norwegian Bodo Glimt, and the English Leicester as their rivals, before qualifying for the final against Feyenoord. The match was very intense, but Mourinho's Roma managed to prevail and won the first edition of the new European tournament, the Conference League. This triumph was received with huge celebrations from the fans, who witnessed Roma's first trophy in 14 years and first European one in 60. Yes, Mourinho brought the joy back to Stadio Olimpico, and now everyone at Roma was ready for more. And they were actually really close. But this time, one step higher, the Europa League. In the 2022-23 season, Roma's path was paved with far more serious obstacles. To reach the final in Budapest, the Italians had to go through teams like Manuel Pellegrini's Real Betis, Real Sociedad, the previous year's final rival Feyenoord, as well as Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. Yes, the challenges were tough, but the difference maker was one player who was considered the next big thing in football around 7 or 8 years ago. La Joya, Paulo Dybala. He came from Juventus in the summer of 2022 and was warmly welcomed by Roma fans who truly made him feel special. He had 6 goal contributions for Roma in Europe last season, having his best form in the knockout stage. He even scored that leading goal against Sevilla in the final. But unfortunately, then the Spanish team equalized, and with a bit of controversy, Roma agonizingly lost the match on penalties. And this brings us to this season when Roma started off really bad, only 1 win in its first 6 Serie A games. Yes, the form was poor, but we can't fail to mention the win in that period. Roma really took its anger on poor Empoli, smashing them 7-0 in mid-September. However, after that game, Roma raised their level and conceded only 7 more losses in all competitions until Mourinho's sacking. Yes, everything was going on schedule and was no different to the situation in the previous seasons. The team was still in the Europa League, qualifying for the knockout rounds, and was sitting ninth in the Serie A table, but with only 3 points off European spots. The game that totally lost the owner's confidence in Mourinho was the 3-1 loss to Milan at the San Siro. However, in our opinion, the real reason for the sacking was Roma's elimination from the Coppa Italia 4 days earlier after losing to Lazio. Then, the Milan game was just the pretext for the boss's announcement. And those were their words regarding the news. We would like to thank Jose on behalf of all of us at AS Roma for his passion and efforts since his arrival at the club. We will always have great memories of his tenure at Roma, but we believe that an immediate change is in the best interests of the club. We wish Jose and his assistants all the best in their future endeavors, said Roma owners Dan and Ryan Friedkin. Now, what about fans' reaction after the sad news? The truth is that nobody, and I repeat, nobody wanted Jose Mourinho to be sacked, because just a couple of months ago, he rejected several multi-million offers from Saudi Arabia and stayed loyal to Roma. But then, the club, in which he left part of his soul, betrayed him after just some bad results. This is what football has turned into, guys. Everybody is seeking fast progress and immediate success, without investing their time in it. A video on social media quickly gained popularity, as it showed Jose sitting in his car, leaving Roma's training facility, and several fans of the team surrounded him, expressing their support and singing songs. This is what football was and should always be. Now, what about the future of Jose Mourinho? Interestingly, in the last weeks, a lot of excellent managers have either been sacked or announced their leaving of clubs, like Jurgen Klopp from Liverpool and Xavi Hernandez from Barcelona. And Barca could exactly be Mourinho's next destination after the summer. So nothing serious for now. However, these are just raw rumors, so nothing serious for now. And at the end of the video, we have to mention another very interesting fact that might have slipped away from you. Did you know about the so-called third season curse of Jose Mourinho? Well, at FC Porto, the special one left just before what would have been his third season. In his first stint at Chelsea, he departed in exactly the third season. At Inter, he left again before the third season began. During his time at Real Madrid, Mourinho was fired after the third season and way before the start of the fourth. Yes, you got the point. During his second spell at Chelsea, as well as in Man United and Spurs, he was again sacked during or after his third season. And to conclude it all, do you think that this curse has anything to do with Jose Mourinho and Roma, or it is just a coincidence? What is your say? Do you think the things for the team will get far better with interim coach Daniele De Rossi? And with that being said, we have suddenly come to an end of today's video. If you liked it, you can give it a try on our last episodes, where we discussed also Pioli's difficulties in Milan, for example. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. Thank you and ciao!